Hey guys, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. My name's Neil and it's time for another episode of University Challenge. I can only assume if you guys are watching this, you're a trivia nerd just like I am. You love quizzes, you love no-nonsense, challenging shows like this, and I haven't come across any that are straightforward trivia at a higher level than this show, so I'm just loving it. It's a blast to participate in, even when I do go through an episode with hardly a right answer. Sometimes that's just the way the topics tumble. I'm excited to jump into this next episode. This is episode 19 from the current series, series 51, and it features Edinburgh versus Bristol. I'm excited to jump right into it. I don't have much else to say, so let's do that. This is episode 19. I have to say, I really love the jaunty strings that serve as the opening of this show.
University Challenge.
Two more teams are competing tonight for a place in the quarter-final stage of this competition. The Edinburgh University team have had an easy time of it so far. Up against Peterhouse Cambridge, in round one they won by 270 points to 80.
Oh, that's right. I remember they had a dominant win.
Now, the team from Bristol University also managed a very comfortable win in their first-round match when they beat Wolston College Oxford by 165 points to 110. Fingers on the buzzers, here's your first starter for 10. In the singular or plural, what short word appears in all of these titles? Firstly, a 1924 film starring Douglas Fairbanks and based loosely on the 1001 Nights, an acclaimed neo-realist film set in post-war Rome, and a 1955 Hitchcock film starring Cary Grant as a cat burglar on the French Riviera.
Bristol Brian.
Rope.
No.
Edinburgh Russell Jones.
Thief.
Thief is correct,
Right.
yes. In each case, identify the Irish-born Nobel laureate from the quotation. You don't expect me to know what to say about a play when I don't know who the author is, do you? These words appear in a 1911 stage work by which author?
George Bernard Shaw.
George Bernard Shaw is correct. Who said of the televising of one of his best-known works, "My play wasn't written for this box. My play was written for small men locked in a big space"?
It's got to be Samuel Beckett. Yeah.
Samuel Beckett.
Correct. Cast a cold eye on life, on death, horsemen pass by. These words are the epitaph of which Irish Nobel laureate and appear in his poem Under Ben Bulben?
Yeats.
Correct.
Wow.
10 points for... In the 1870s, who composed the pieces known as Anitra's Dance and...
Edinburgh Karunaratna.
Grieg.
Grieg is correct, yes. Resulting in the dissolution of the ruling party, the RCD, and the ousting of President Ben Ali, the Jasmine Revolution took place in which country in 2011?
Tunisia, yeah.
Tunisia.
Tunisia is correct.
Wow.
President Laurent Gbagbo was arrested by rebel troops of the FRCI after refusing to concede defeat in an election in which country?
Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire.
Correct. Following a referendum earlier in the same year, which African country became independent in July 2011?
South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Correct, well done.
You got the last one, but man.
What novel did Charlotte Bronte describe as a carefully fenced, highly cultivated garden with neat borders and delicate flowers, but no open country? The novel in question had been published anonymously in 1813.
Jane Eyre.
No?
Wuthering Heights.
Edinburgh Russell Jones.
Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice is correct, yes. In 1770, the English mathematician Edward Waring published the conjecture that every positive integer is the sum of not more than 19 fourth powers, or how many cubes? The answer is a single-digit number.
19
Fourth
fourth
powers.
powers. So it's 4 to the 19.
No, single digit. He said single digit.
By 3, so that would be...
7.
Divisible by 3.
Here it is.
7 cubes.
32.
No,
No.
it's not, it's 9.
Oh.
Waring's problem built on the four-square theorem of which French-Italian mathematician born 1736?
Lagrange.
Lagrange is correct. For your picture starter, you're going to see the first lines of a play by Shakespeare.
Two houses
Translated into
for
German.
it's Romeo and
10
Juliet.
points. Give me the English name of the play. Give the English title of the play in each case. Firstly,
Good translation.
Fire.
A celebratory, like muse or something.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
No, it's "Oh for a Muse of Fire," of course, the opening lines of Henry V. Secondly,
Mine's
In which I, my son in the world, send my son twice into the world.
King Lear.
King Lear.
No, he's only got daughters.
Sounds tragic. King Lear.
no, it's "All's Well That Ends Well." Finally, this play, the translation here is by Tieck's daughter, Dorothea.
Oh, this is King Lear.
When we meet the,
Beth. Yeah.
Oh, when should we? Yeah, we three meet again. These are the three witches, of course, not three daughters.
The name of what bird begins those of an order of barnacles with a pronounced peduncle or stalk?
Bristol woodcock.
Goose.
Goose is correct. Palpable relief.
Very much.
Right, here are your bonuses. In each case, I need the name of the person who was Prime Minister at the time of the following.
Boy.
Firstly, the death of King George I and the accession of George II.
Walpole. Yeah. Walpole.
Yes, it was Sir Robert Walpole. The Jacobite rebellion, secondly, that ended with the Battle of Culloden.
Oh, God, when's Culloden?
Yeah, when is it?
1760s,
1740s?
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pitt.
Pitt the Elder, sure.
Yeah, it could be Pitt the Elder.
No, it was Pelham. The US Declaration of Independence and the British defeat at Saratoga.
1776.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, Lord North.
Correct, yes.
I found out on QI none of those were
2018,
actually
it was
prime minister.
reported that an applied electrostatic field could induce superconductivity in stacks formed from two precisely misaligned sheets. Of what material?
Graphene.
Graphene is correct. Well done.
Yeah, they weren't actually called prime minister until like the early 1900s or the late 1800s.
Which red supergiant star is the brightest in the constellation Scorpius? Its name contains the letters of the word star, though not in that order.
Say that again.
Antares.
Antares is correct. About 25 light years away, which star of spectra type A is the brightest in Piscis Australis? This name contains the letters of the word hot, though not in that order.
Fomalhaut.
Fomalhaut is correct.
Wow.
Finally visible from the southern hemisphere and the second brightest in the night sky, the name of which star contains the letters of the word sun? Again, not in that order.
Cygnus.
It's Canopus.
Canopus,
10
okay.
points for this. What term appears in the title of the Manifesto of 1886 by the critic Jean Moreas? Its prominent figures included Mallarmé, Verlaine and Rimbaud.
Symbolism.
Symbolism is correct. What name is given to a coloured patch of wing feathers that's a distinguishing feature of many species of dabbling duck? The same word denotes a device used in medicine for examining an internal body cavity.
Scope.
Speculum.
It is a speculum, yes.
Well done.
Having a green speculum and a blue forewing, Anas clypeata has what common name referring to its distinctive spoon-shaped bill used to strain animals and plants from water?
I mean, there are spoon-billed.
You said spoon.
Yeah, it can't be
Spoonbill.
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 No, it's a shoveler.
Yeah, that's it.
Also having a green speculum of a similar colour to a stripe on the head of the male, what is the smallest species of duck that's native to Britain?
Mallard, maybe?
Mallard.
No, it's teal, which is much smaller than a mallard. Which city is this? Its Latin name, Hafnia, is the source of the name of a chemical...
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is correct.
Wow. Copenhagen.
With a name meaning Lord of the People, which god is depicted with a rounded belly and often accompanied by a plate of sweets?
Vishnu or Krishna?
Or
No, it's
Ganesh.
Ganesh is correct, yes. Ganesh is depicted with the head of what animal?
Elephant.
Symbolising his status as a remover
Elephant.
of obstacles. Correct? Ganesh is depicted with a broken tusk. One of several legends says he broke it off to use it to write which Hindu epic concerning the conflict between the Pandavas and the Kauravas?
Mahabharata.
Correct. For your music starter, you're going to hear an aria from an opera. For 10 points, please name the opera.
Bristol woodcock.
Carmen.
Carmen is correct, yes. I have it. Your music bonuses are 3 more recordings by Leontine Price. Firstly,
Don't know.
Aida.
that's Dido and Aeneas. Secondly,
Nothing like Birdie then.
Not a clue.
Is that Ida?
No, this sounds like Puccini, I think.
Rigoletto.
Madame Butterfly.
no, it's Aida. And finally,
Bummer.
Oh, that's definitely Puccini. Madame Butterfly.
no, it's from Tosca. Bad luck. You were right with Puccini, though. Max Wertheimer, in 1912, published the paper considered to mark the founding of which school of psychology, known by a German term meaning the way in which...
Edinburgh Russell Jones.
Gestalt.
Gestalt is correct, yes. You get 3 questions on the obscure. Dry, obscure, contrary to all ordinary ideas, and prolix to boot. These are the words of which German philosopher describing one of his own works published in 1781?
Kant. I have no idea Kant's dates.
The next.
Kant, in a flash of insight, is correct.
Lovely.
Art historians have suggested that a camera obscura was part of the working method of which Dutch artist, born in 1632?
Vermeer.
Vermeer is correct. The past participle of which French verb is sometimes used in English to mean far-fetched or obscure. Other forms of the same verb appear on French web pages where they mean search.
Voyager.
Recher?
Voyager, because that
Used
can
in
mean
English,
long
guys.
distance as well.
Yeah.
Passé.
No, it's recherche.
Recherche. Okay.
Influenced by the works of Chaucer, the King's Quair, or King's Book, is a love dream allegory attributed to which Scottish monarch, a prisoner at the English court?
Edinburgh Thomas.
James I.
James I is correct, yes. You get a set of bonuses on the US politician Nellie Taylor Ross. In which US state was Ross elected to serve as governor in 1924? Its constitution was the first in the world to grant full voting rights to women.
New Hampshire.
That's Wyoming.
Okay, there was nobody.
After her term as governor, Ross led the campaign for the women's vote for which presidential candidate in 1932?
That would be Roosevelt.
FDR.
Yes, that's correct. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, yes. As the first female director of the US Mint, Ross oversaw the introduction of a 1938 new nickel depicting which early US president? He still appears on the coin.
Washington.
Nickel.
Washington's on the nickel.
Fifth-
No,
fifth
Jefferson's
person.
on the
I mean,
Jefferson's on the nickel.
he's-
Americans are laughing at me right now.
Famous. Do you have any
No,
ideas, Lewis?
Washington's on the nickel. I could swear. Lincoln's on the penny. Washington's on the nickel.
Jefferson.
It is Jefferson, yes, well done. Types of what physical feature include fan, shoot, plunge, and
Waterfalls.
horsetail?
Edinburgh Karuna Rotna.
Cave?
No, you lose 5 points. For that.
Waterfall.
Waterfall is correct, yes. In each case, identify the particle from the description. Firstly, an agent of certain plant diseases, a particle consisting only of a small circular RNA molecule and no protein coat.
A spore.
Plasmid.
That's a viroid. Any of the viruses that infect bacteria or archaea.
Bacteriophage.
Correct. For your picture starter, you're going to see a photograph of a sports person who you'll need to identify.
Not a clue. He's a cricketer, but that's all I can tell you.
Moeen Ali.
Owen Ali is correct. For your bonuses, you're going to see 3 more such players from the men's game.
I played cricket in high school, believe it or not,
First,
but I do
this
not know
player
any
representing
cricket
Southern
players.
Brave.
Chris Jordan.
It is Chris Jordan, yes. Secondly, this player representing the Oval Invincibles.
Jason Roy.
It is Jason Roy. And finally, this player representing the Northern Superchargers.
Adil Rashid.
Adil Rashid is correct.
Good for them.
Right, what edible substance appears in all of the following titles? Angelina Jolie's directorial debut about the Bosnian War, the debut album...
Edinburgh Sundar.
Chocolate.
No, you lose 5 points. The debut album by the rock group Radiohead and the debut play by
Honey.
Sheila Delaney.
Honey. Radiohead's debut was Pablo Honey.
Bristol Brian.
Honey?
Honey is correct, yes. Words that end with the same 3 letters as the capital of Samoa.
Samoa is
Firstly, a
Apia,
Latin
P-I-A.
word meaning horn of plenty. Represented in
Cornucopia.
art as overflowing with flowers and
cornucopia.
fruit. Cornucopia is correct. Species of African fish of the cichlid family.
Tilapia.
Mainly freshwater.
Tilapia.
They're widely consumed in the US.
Tilapia.
It's not tilapia then.
It is tilapia. It absolutely is tilapia.
Might be tilapia.
Yes, it's tilapia.
Tilapia is correct, yes. Finally, some editions of Ursula Le Guin's novel, The Dispossessed, have the subtitle An Ambiguous What?
Pass.
That's Utopia. 10 points for this. Showing the title figure trapped in a hawthorn bush as the Lady of the Lake reads to him from a book of spells, The Beguiling of Merlin is a work of the 18th...
Edinburgh Russell Jones.
Ben Jones.
Burne-Jones is correct, yes. You get a set of bonuses on the contiguous English counties in which Stilton cheese may be produced. Firstly, the location of Southall Minster and the region of Parkland known as the Dukeries.
Shropshire.
Somerset.
No, it's Nottinghamshire. The county that is home to Kettleston Hall, Cork Abbey, and the Derwent Valley Mills World Heritage Site.
Isn't Derwent Water in like Lake District?
Yeah.
So like
Derbyshire.
Derbyshire is correct. The location of Belvoir Castle and the battlefield of Bosworth, finally.
Leicestershire, probably.
Leicestershire.
Correct. I need the name of an element here. The three main types of meteorite are stony, those consisting of a...
Bristol Woodcock.
Iron.
Iron is correct. Well done. What term describes the note from which a chord is named, and which is often, though not always, the lowest note in the chord?
Tonic.
Tonic.
No, it's root. What single word describes the shifting of the root to a position other than the lowest in the chord?
Inversion.
Inversion.
Inversion is correct. A major chord with the top note raised one semitone is referred to by what term?
Sharp. No, I don't know.
Augmented.
Augmented is correct. The 1960s science fiction film The Village of the Damned, about a group of sinister telepathic children, is based on which 1957 book by the British author John
Bristol
Win-
Brian.
The Midget Cuckoos.
Correct, yes. So I need the surname in each case, and all three begin with the same two letters. Which British physicist and author published the 1959 work The Two Cultures and the Scientific Revolution?
Snow.
Correct.
Very good.
Born in Leyden in the late 16th century, which astronomer gives his name to a law concerning the refraction of light?
Snell.
Snell is correct. In 1862, which Dutch physician developed an eponymous chart comprising rows of capital letters to test the acuity of distant vision?
Snellen, I think. Snellen.
Snellen is correct.
I did not know the Snellen chart.
Carpenter, weaver, driver, army, farer,
Ants.
and fire.
Bristol Woodcock.
And.
Ant is correct. In each case, give the decade of the 19th century in which the following took place. Firstly, the establishment of the Holy Alliance in Europe and the Battle of Boyaca that freed Colombia from Spanish control.
1830s.
It's going to be 1810s or 20s, probably 20s.
20s.
1820s.
That was the 1810s. Secondly, the capture of Nanjing by the Taiping rebels and the Dred Scott decision by the US Supreme Court.
1830s.
Taiping Rebellion.
1850s.
Dred Scott feels
Let's go with
earlier than that.
1850s.
1850s is
Oh, okay.
correct. And the founding of the Indian National Congress and the major eruption of Krakatoa.
1880s.
1890s, right?
1890s.
No, 1886. I could have sworn.
1890s, go.
1890s.
That was the 1880s. 10 points for this. Indicating a means of transport, what word appears with Mr. Norris, Istanbul?
Edinburgh Thomas.
Trains.
Trains is correct.
Man, this is a close one.
Rosalind, Celia, Orlando, and Oliver are characters in which of Shakespeare's comedies set partly in the Forest of Arden?
As you like it.
As you like it.
As you like it.
Correct. What is the name of the jester in As You Like It? The name is also a term that can mean a criterion by which something is assessed or recognised.
Touchdown, I think. But you can confess.
Man, what a good match.
It was a good game all round. Thank you all very much for playing. We're going to have to say goodbye to you, though, Bristol, but it was a great performance.
A really strong overall score. Wow.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Man, that was a seriously tight match, and applause to both of them, because I feel like the combined score was especially high. Normally, I feel like the combined score is in the sort of 250 range, and in this case, we were over 350. So they were moving with speed and getting a lot right. Really impressive match. Sucks when you lose a close one. I've been on both sides of those really tight ones, and losing feels way worse than winning feels good, if that makes any sense. The magnitude of that emotion is huge. I mean, winning that sort of match is more just about relief than anything else. You can't feel happy. It's just a huge sigh of relief, a huge weight off your back. But, you know, unless it's the final, you've got another one to get ready for right away. That was a lot of fun. There were definitely some areas that I was not at all capable of contributing to. I got a couple of lucky guesses in there. So much of quizzing is throwing out names that might be right, even if you just don't know. You have to trust those very thin neural pathways in your brain that may have only been forged once, but they draw a connection between clue A and fact B, and they might just be right. And quite often they're wrong. But that's the nature of quizzing, especially at a really challenging level like this. Anyway, I had a ton of fun with this one today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you're digging these, if you'd like to see more. I'll do another one next week, but I'm not sure whether I will continue these reactions through to the series end. Let me know if you'd like to see them, though. I'll certainly keep them up if there's enough demand for them. So until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. And goodbye from me.